guys, as the title says, I'm going to be telling you my top 5 favorite movies as a child, growing up as a child. Now, sadly, there is only one Blu-ray because only out of all of these, 3 of them, one of them I'm unsure about. I've seen Blu-rays online, but I've not seen like certain stores carry them besides like Amazon and stuff, so I think it's exclusive to Amazon. But I'm pretty sure 3, since I've seen that one, are on Blu-ray and the other 2 are on DVD. Or, only one is on Blu-ray. These 3 right here have Blu-ray releases for them that I've said. Only 2 in this stack do not yet, which I don't get why. Which I'm gonna eventually update all them to Blu-ray, but I have yet to, because I've just not really seen them, and you have to order them offline, and I've just not got into doing it. I've kept forgetting about doing that. But I've got here on Blu-ray plus DVD from the creators of Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas and the acclaimed director of Alice in Wonderland. And it's got a slipcover. I've got right here James and the Giant Peach Special Edition on Blu-ray. Yeah, it's got one of those weird, not really metallic, but it's like a weird rainbowish effect in it. It's got that. Yeah, it's cool because this one's in 1080p high definition. Plus it has, what does it have? I don't know why it says it on Blu-ray. I don't know how you switch that. I ain't seen how you do that, but 1080p high definition or 480i. Yeah. It's got so DVD one's just regular like that, but yeah, you can do it in both like that. Yeah, it's got this nice slip cover. Got this one for, what the heck, Christmas one year. I always had the VHS version of it, and by the way, if you didn't see the slip cover, here's the slip cover. There's the back of the slip cover. But I always had the VHS version of this and never knew this came out, and my mom got it off eBay one Christmas for me, and so now I have it. Keep on thinking like it's bent for some reason, but it's not. Yeah, that's what it looks like without it. I'm also going to be giving my reviews on these, as it says in the title. Yeah, it's got the, so obviously it don't have the code anymore. It looks like that security tag thing. Oh, it's just regular under the DVD. But there's both of them like that now. What I just noticed is it says the Blu-ray's in region A. What is this one in? Because on the back of it says all regions. So that's region 1. So I don't know. It says right here region A, B, C, or yeah, and then it says region 1. So yeah. But yeah, there's that one. So like for my review on it, I'm gonna tell you pretty much the story of it, not the entire plot, but give you some key elements. You'll see the footage. You see the footage in the background, but what goes on is James, which this is based off of a book. I actually have the book, but James goes to James's mother and father die. He goes to live with his aunts, and they beat him and stuff, and they treat him really bad, and they just make him have a horrible life. And he meets an old man with some green things, and the green things are like crocodile tongues and stuff is what he calls them, and he takes them and he tells him, like, you know, you'll never be miserable again. You have to, like, be yourself. You've got to not be so scared, afraid, and stuff. And he makes him go, like, he gives them to him, and he says, don't let them get away. And he hears his aunts yelling and stuff, and he trips and loses them. But later on into the film is when it happens. This, as you can see on the cover, this is, I don't know how you would say it. It's half animation, half real life, like half real. But halfway through, not halfway through, but a ways through the film, past all this, before that actually, the green things, when he drops them, they fall and they get in the ground. They get in a peach, and as it shows in the cover here, peaches growing on little trees. They see a peach about that size, and they're standing there, and it begins to grow and grow and grow and grow, and it gets so big that they're like, "Oh, let's go ahead and eat it." Well, then they're like, "No." She tells us that she's like, "It smells like money." She says that they can make a profit off of it, so they bring the giant walls, or not walls, wood fence walls, and they build it around it or whatever, and they pretty much make an exhibit. They call it the eighth wonder of the world. Well, later on, past that, they make James go out and clean up the garbage, and James has to pick up the garbage. Well, when he's picking it up, he sees a green thing, and he chases after it. Well, lo and behold, it gets right next to the peach and jumps into the peach, and he's like, just heck it, I'm gonna eat the peach. And he pulls, or it don't jump into the peach yet, but he pulls out a piece, and he's holding it in his hand. It jumps like under the peach. He holds it in his hand, and then he goes to take a bite, and as soon as he goes to take a bite, it jumps and lands right in the spot where he eats. And he bites that spot, bites into it, and out of nowhere, the hole opens in the peach, which in the movie, the hole is actually like right here at the top of the peach where they're all standing. It's up next to the stem. Well, yeah, that's the only thing that's a little odd on it. Is, the whole... Oh yeah, now I remember. It don't get right there. They have a hole in the top of it. I forgot that hole seals up, but he sees the hole open up. Forget everything I'd said about the hole, but he goes up through the hole, and he goes up there, and as he starts to go through, out of nowhere, like, they have a little magic, like, pixie dust thing go around his head, and his head transforms into a thing, and he becomes animated claymation, and he keeps climbing up. The hole seals up, and he goes there, and he meets all these bugs, and it turns out all the bugs have been living on the property for years and years and years, for a long, long time. They're old bugs. Well, it turns out these are his friends. They become his gift, like his reward for all the bad times he's had. But he makes it, they have to, his dad says, at the beginning his dad says, we're going to New York City. Well, he says, that's where I want to go. I want to go to New York City, and that's just where I want to go. And so they take this ship, and I'm not going to tell you what happens, but they try to make their journey to go to New York City. But yeah, that's James and the Giant Peach, one of my all-time favorites as a child. I think put it back here in this slip cover. This cool one right here. I think it may have had a code, but I don't remember if it ever had one, because it was so old of a release. and I got it just a couple years ago. If it'll go back in, and it's for some reason that side don't want to go in. Set them over here. Got to be careful with slip covers. I don't want to get them dented in. Now, I guess I'll do this one next. Got Angels in the Outfield. Now this one is damaged on the back because it was brand new when I bought it. I think it still has, yeah, it still got the Disney Movie Rewards code on it. Do not discard. So I wonder if these are, whatever, I'll just set that over. I don't know, I may check into that one day. But yeah, it's a new one. When I got it, I think, yeah, for sure it was new. Pretty sure, yeah. But somehow this was like sliced open somehow on the back. But yeah, there's the cover. It's got stars Danny Glover, Tony Danza, Christopher Lloyd, and I don't remember. I don't remember if he is in the movie or not, or in Jurassic Park, but I'm pretty sure he's the boy from one of the Jurassic Parks. Not sure on that, but he looks like he is. But he's been in movies since this. This was a, what was it, 94 release? Something like that. Early 90s release. Nearly every one of these movies are hitting their 20 years. I think have hit theirs or are going to. Yeah, all of them are going to hit theirs or have hit theirs already. But yeah, so this film, there's the back. But if you want to see the disc too, it's just a regular DVD disc with the faces as the same as on the cover. But this one is, it's a hit home movie. It's what's his name again? I can't remember. JP. I think is the black kid's name. And the white kid's name is Roger. That's it. Roger and JP, and George Knox is his name. George Knox, Mel Clark, and Al. So that's Christopher Lloyd and Danny Glover, Tony Danza. Well, they all play a major role in this. And the black kid and the white kid both live in a foster home. And the white kid said like they love to go to the Angels, the Anaheim Angels, and they go there and stuff, and they'd like sneak up in a tree and watch the game and stuff. But they go to watch the game, and then when they get back, or the security runs them off because they didn't pay for that. He says, "Oh, you better have a ticket for that tree." And he runs them off, and when they get home, the white kid's dad's, Roger's dad, quit saying like white kid and black kid and stuff, but Roger's dad says, "Oh yeah, the woman Maggie, who's their foster mom, says, oh, you got a visitor." Well, he's like, is it him? And it's his dad. Well, he goes in there to see him, and he's like, yeah, they want me to fill out some paperwork for you and stuff. And he's telling him, he's like, oh, if your mom was still alive, it would be different. But he's talking about it, and he's telling him, like, giving him the guilt trip, like, oh, it's not my fault. It's, like, you'll be fine and stuff. And he tells him all that, and then right after he walks out, he says, Dad, when are we going to be a family again, or something? And he says, like, what was it? He says, when the Angels win the pennant. And then he starts, like, he's laying in bed, and he's like, God, he's like, if there is a God, he's like, will will you let the Angels win the pennant or something? He says something along those lines, but he starts praying about stuff like that, and he said he's he asks for that. Well, then out of nowhere he starts experiencing. He actually starts seeing angels. He starts having angel experiences and seeing them and stuff, and he begins like seeing them at the games and stuff, and like he knows what they're gonna do and everything, and he says like he tells George Knox, he's like, hey, there's angels here, and then like that stuff starts beginning to happen, like a bat breaks like off of a hit, and the ball goes flying, and the ball's like busted open, and but everybody else sees is the guy go like this, but what he sees is the guy go like this, and there's a guy that's right behind him, an angel behind him going like this, and he swings with him, and then there's one where he's like a guy's going like this, and then there's the angels behind him going like this is what the boy sees. But it gets to the point where like they do, not gonna say all the way they do, but they start winning games and stuff to go to the pennant. Not gonna say what happens, but that's mostly what happens, and there's a major part that happens in it after all that. But yeah, that's Angels in the Outfield. That's a little synopsis on it. Set it over here. I got, what's the next one? This one right here, Cult Classic. You probably just seen the bottom of it, maybe not, but you see it now. Good Burger, Kenan and Kel. Now this is the original. This is not the new one that Warner Brothers put out. This is the 2003 release of it. They re-released it in 2013. I have yet to get one of those. That's why the box looks so old on it. It's got like a weirder, older, like cheaper material part. Kind of, well, not cheaper, but it's got like a weirder material to it. But yeah, this one is one of my favorites. I just recently watched this, like a week or so ago. Again, because I didn't watch it for a long time. And it's been a while since I've watched it a lot. I've tried to distance myself from a lot of these films just because of the fact that I've seen them so many times. But this one, show you the disc cover, if it'll close, the back of it. It's got people like Sinbad, Shaq, if you're familiar with Kenan and Kel, obviously, but you're familiar with all of that. There is, I know for sure, 2 of them that make an appearance in it. Are there any others? No. No, there ain't. But there's, this has like Lori Beftenberg from all that. Josh Server, Kenan and Kel from all that. Oh yeah, there's 3 of them actually. Others that are in it. What was he in it? Can't remember. I didn't watch a lot of all that ever. I've seen it newer when they've brought it back for the block and stuff they had on TV, on Teen Nick at night. But I've not yet seen him in it. But obviously he was the creator of all that stuff, helped create and stuff. A lot of that stuff, co-create a lot of that stuff. Dan Schneider's in it, the creator of like a bunch of most of the big name Nick shows like iCarly and stuff. But this is about where Dexter, which that's Dexter, Kenan Thompson, gets out of school, drives a car, and he's getting out for summer vacation, and turns out he don't even have a license, and he's driving down the road, and Ed, which is Cal Mitchell, drives down the road or is rollerblading, and well, they start out. They work at Ed works at Good Burger already, but Ed's kind of leaving his house, and he gets there, and this guy's like, yeah, 5 minutes. I'm gonna leave in 5 minutes if you don't have my order, or not 5 minutes, like 5 seconds. And Ed's doing this whole thing, and then when the guy starts counting, as soon as he gets to one, Ed flips over the counter. Well, then he says, guy's like, yeah, I can't wait for Mondo Burger to open, and he says, I just got confused there, but he says that you're gonna, I can't wait for Mondo Burger to open. And Ed's like, oh, Mondo Burger, what's that? And they said, oh, that building they've been building for like 10 months or 9 months. It's across the street. And he's like, oh, yeah, I see it. He's like, and Josh Server's like, yeah, that's Mondo Burger, Ed. And he's like, well, the Mr. Bailey, Dan Schneider, comes up and says, yeah, I need you to do whatever you call it, a delivery. He's like, I fired O'Malley, and he's like, the boy showed up to work without his pants. And he's like, oh, yeah, it shall be delivered. And he starts to do the delivery, and they're driving down the road, and Dexter, and, which he never mentioned, yeah, it did, his friend's name is Jake. But Jake wasn't even in the film, but those scenes, the car scene. But he drives in the car with him, and he starts going down, he's speeding through, and Ed comes rollerblading out, has the delivery bag in hand, cuts him off while driving. He goes out in front of him, he swerves, hydroplanes, and hydroplanes into his teacher's car, and his teacher is Sinbad, and Sinbad's like 70s. He's like living in the 70s era still. But he has his afro, and he says, he's like, my afro, my afro. And he gets out of the car, and he's like, Brother Reed, you done messed up my afro. And he gets out, and he's like, you know how much this car cost me? And starts telling him, and he's like, no, I'll pay for the car. I'll pay for the car. He says, like, they get to the body shop. He's like, or before he gets there, he's like, how much you think it's going to cost? They get there, and he's like, yeah, you got to pay $1,900. He's like, $1,900? I ain't got that kind of money. He's like, oh, I'll just call your parents. I know you want to be free for the summer, whatever. And he's telling him, he's like, no. He's like, I'll get a summer job. Well, turns out he gets a summer job at Mondo Burger, and he's whatever, they're in their trainee program. Like, he's training to be he's in their training program, and he's learning to make burgers and stuff, and he's like making stuff, like making jokes about them and stuff. And then he says, like, he tells them, like, yeah, whatever, the pickles or whatever, they're not the right kind. And he makes, like, cracks a joke about him, and then he cracks another joke, well, they throw him out. And gonna quit telling you all that, but he goes to work at Good Burger. Well, it turns out things are bad between these two businesses later on. They're gonna have it out for each other, because Good Burger is a low income, like, burger restaurant. It's not what Mondo Burger's trying to become. Mondo Burger's trying to become like the fast food tycoon kind of thing. It's trying to become the dominant burger place, and they've got to destroy Good Burger, which is one of the things they say in it. They're like, we got to get rid of our destroy our competition, or get rid of our competition. Good Burger across the street. They're right across from each other. Like the woman Monique told him that they'd been building. Well, they have to battle it out between each other because of a certain reason that's made in this certain ingredient that evolves in this movie. But yeah, that's Good Burger. I don't want to tell you everything because there's just so much good that happens in this movie. And obviously, you can look up this movie got bad reviews from Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, but it's became a cult classic. It is a really funny movie. I mean, I'd like to see more happen in it, which there's stuff that happened in it that we've yet to find out why it wasn't in the movie, like stuff that was cut out. Like I've got the book and it's got like deleted scenes, pics in it. But I can't wait till eventually that's fixing to hit its 20th anniversary next year, and I'm wondering if they may do like one of these other films I have in here and give it a Blu-ray release and then give it like special features, because unfortunately that has nothing to it. But like all it says is like it's got widescreen, Dolby Digital, and stuff like that, like English subtitles. I don't have nothing to it. Okay, I've got right here the Page Master. The Page Master. Who's this? I was about to say, I thought this was by Warner Brothers. I was like, I know that there was only one in here that was by Warner Brothers. But this is same as James and the Giant Peach. It is the same way. It's I don't know what you'd call those films. It's an animation, real life one. Half of it starts out, or like the first bit of it starts out like that, regular and stuff, and evolves into an animation. But it's about Richard Tyler, which, as you can see on the back, is in cartoon, front and the back. Okay, so he's got like, you got animations coming up in here and stuff. You can see in the things stuff, well, Richard Tyler's, whatever you call it, he's afraid of everything. He's a scaredy cat. And his dad's like, oh yeah, you gotta be a man, son. You've gotta quit being like that. And he's like, go down to the hardware store and get me something. He's like, the hardware store? He's like, and he tells him something. He's like, statistics. He's like, you know, like 1 in 5 people that pick up a hammer will, like, somehow will eventually, like, hit their finger. Like, he's like that. He's like, yeah, you know, like 5 people that pick up a paper cut, 2 of those, or pick up a piece of paper will get a paper cut. 2 of those people will. He's like statistical about stuff. And he's going, and a bad storm comes. And he gets out in it after all that. Like, he's going there, and before he can get there to the hardware store, the storm comes, and he's like in a tunnel, and the lights start blowing, and he gets in there, and his dad like told him to, I don't know why I'm talking about that, but about the fear and stuff. He's afraid, but he's in there, and he doesn't actually show him going into town, really. It just shows the neighborhood and stuff. But he gets out of the storm, like, he's got this weird safety bike. It's got like it goes beep beep beep, makes the beeping noise. He's got reflectors and everything. He's like really safety and stuff. And he goes into a library to get out of the storm, and this is more this is like literature. There's like, uh, he goes in there and he's like, "Oh, can I use the phone?" He slips on the floor, and what the guy tells him is like, "Yeah, you bumped your head, but in reality, he bumped his head, but he did that. Like somehow he heard the books. He became like he did the journey in his mind, and he did all this stuff. Well, what you see is like it's a reality, but in the movie, he tells him like, "Oh yeah, you're. This is like near, kind of telling you the end, but it's not really the end." He's like he tells him that he's just dreaming it. Yeah, I cut out those parts back there because I was telling too much of the movie way too far in. But he tells uh Richie goes in there and he falls like and he slips and falls and he starts seeing like he's looking up at the whatever the thing I can't remember what it is like a Leonardo, is it Da Vinci? It's not Leonardo da Vinci. It's whoever the painter was that painted the Sistine Chapel painted it. Well, this has like let me look at the cover. Like Long John Silver, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I don't know what that dragon's about, and Moby Dick, but it's got like paintings of him up there, and he's like standing there, and a thing drips on his arm, and he starts becoming reality. Like the paint and stuff starts becoming a reality. The pictures start to melt, pretty much, and fall down, and that's when it starts becoming cartoon. Like he starts running, and every time paint touches something, it's making it a real life piece of cartoon, like an animation. But he meets these people. Not going to tell you all of them. Not going to tell you them actually, but he meets these three friends who are books that he learns along the way that are all have a special piece in literature, that they are a certain genre in literature and stuff. But there's books referenced in there from big authors and stuff in the libraries. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But he has to learn to overcome his fears through this reality. It's a pretty good movie. I've Last time I tried to watch it, I kept falling asleep just because the fact, I don't know, I'd try to watch it like late at night and I'd lay down and get comfortable and I'd fall asleep to it. But I've watched it several times and loved it. I need to watch it again eventually. It is not a boring movie. It is a wonderful movie. It stars Carly Culkin and Christopher Lloyd, another Christopher Lloyd movie, but Christopher Lloyd's not in it barely at all. He voices this guy. I don't. That's the Page Master. Well, yeah, it is. I think. Yeah, he's the Page Master. But he's pretty much like the Page Master because he masters the pages and stuff throughout this movie. Like the journeys he's gonna go through and stuff. He has to master them and become the Page Master. I guess in a certain way, but Christopher Lloyd is actually Christopher Lloyd. But I can't remember if it. Yeah, he does tell him his name, but I don't remember his name. Because he's barely in the movie at all. He's in there just a couple of scenes as the librarian. But yeah, you got Page Master right here. Awesome movie. Got the last one right here, which I'm eventually going to replace. I have Space Jam. Y'all ready for this? Yeah. Y'all ready to stop? No. Wanna know why? Why? Because it's time to slam, yeah. Everybody get up. It's time to slam, y'all. We got a real game going now. Welcome to the Space Jam. That's actually one of the songs in this. It's got stars Bugs Bunny, Michael Jordan. Now this is like I think it has dust on it. I don't know if it has dust on it. It might. I guess it's. Yeah, I think it came off. But it's probably under the cover. Space Jam. Got the back. Got the. And if you're gonna steal the code, go ahead and try. It's expired. But there's the code. I forgot all about that a long while back and never redeemed it. We got the movie, yeah. It's another 2003 release. This one is a 90s. Most of these movies are 90s. Actually, every one of these movies are 90s. Wait, no. Wait, huh. I wonder why this actually. I don't know why on this says 2003 on the disc, but on the back, I obviously know it's a 96 release, but I guess it's this batch of it was a 2010 release. Got this. I think it was 2010, but I got this out of one of Walmart's bins. And that's obviously why it's just a regular cover. There's nothing on it or anything. It was just a regular Walmart bin pickup. When I got it, I'm eventually going to get the Blu-ray steelbook of this, because I've yet to get it on Blu-ray, because I didn't really know about the Blu-ray with movies and stuff. I was like, how's it going to be high def? Because it didn't really like say like it was on some movies I've had. I was afraid to buy it and it be like near the same thing, just be like barely like special features and stuff. But this one is about these people right here, the aliens. And he's pulling them away, and that's what they pretty much do. They're like, they pull them away from what they're doing, and they're like, yeah, their boss is like, we need new talent. They're from Moron Mountain, and their boss is like, we need something, and he sets on the remote, and it turns on. They see the Looney Tunes. He's like, Looney. He's like, that's it. He's like, get the Looney Tunes. And so they go and they kidnap the Looney Tunes from what they're doing, and they get them all to the. Well, they don't really kidnap all of them, but they like do a hostile dominance over them. They're like, yeah, we can kill you guys or anything. Like, you guys play by our rules. You come with us. But they take them hostage and stuff, and I actually recorded all this just recently, but somehow the storage ran out and it didn't catch it. But they get them and they say, like, you guys have to play by our rules. Y'all are coming with us, and they tell them like pretty much you ain't got no rights, and they write on the book, Bugs does, and he's like, well, if you look right here, it says to capture whatever you call it, something, you've got to do its rights. It has rights. And they're like, we got to fight for our rights. And they say, well, what do you guys propose you're going to challenge us in? Like, what do we have to fight in? Fight for your rights in doing, like, in your big plan. They're like, well, let's. Sorry for the part here with Space Jam. Actually, every time I tried to record it, it kept running out of space, and I've already said it over and over and over about it, but I did give some detail on the film. But it's just, I ain't gonna say the same thing 3 times in a row. That took me like 10 minutes each time to do, or 5 minutes. So that's why there wasn't that much of Space Jam. Sorry for that. Okay, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, tell me what your top 5 favorite movies are, what your favorite movies are. Thanks for watching. Bye.